inspiring meeting where we will be educated, entertained, where you will learn how to embrace the legacy and impact mindset in leading teams and driving success. Let me tell us a bit about Toastmasters in case there are guests amongst us, and just to remind us exactly what we are doing here. Toastmasters International is a non-profit educational organization that teaches public speaking and leadership skills through a worldwide network of clubs. And our mission is that we provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. At Watabaruku, Advanced Toastmasters, we help Toastmasters become advanced speakers through in-depth evaluations and targeted education sessions. Every meeting is designed to challenge your skills, stretch your abilities, and equip you to deliver speeches with greater impact and confidence. And before we proceed, I would like to share some rules that are going to be governing how our meeting is going to go this evening. First of all, this meeting is going to be recorded, and by attending, you release Toastmasters to use your image and name as is shown on this particular slide. So it's going to be recorded, and so by remaining here, we can use your name to share. You can use your image and voice and messages when they're shared on our YouTube page. Please rename yourself according to the naming protocol that is in the chat and that is displayed right there. If you're the president, if you're a sergeant at arms, Toastmaster of the day, general evaluator, timer, super grammarian, topics master, chat master, speakers, evaluators, please make sure you have a hashtag, then your role, then your name. Non-Toastmasters, please put guest, then your name. And finally, Toastmasters from other clubs, please put your name, then please put your club, then your name. During this meeting, keep your video on throughout the meeting if possible, especially during the speeches to give visual support to our speakers. Mute your microphone unless it is your turn to speak. Engage using the chats and emojis. Clap for our speakers, clap for our role takers. Give feedback and vote when the polls are launched in the course of the meeting. And finally, enjoy, visit again, and become a member of our club. I would like to introduce the Club Executive Committee of Watabaruku Advanced Toastmasters. My name is Robert Karanja, DTM, the club president. And also present in our meeting, we have our Vice President Education, Kevin Rubia. Kevin, please tell us, what is the meaning of peace to you as you introduce yourself?
The meaning of peace to me is this. This is just for
Right.
peace.
Right.
Back to you, our president.
Thank you so much. And our vice president membership is Gilbert Rutebemberwa, who's going to be joining us later. We also have our vice president public relations, Maggie Waithiru. Maggie, please introduce yourself and tell us what peace means to you.
I'm here, Robert.
There you go.
Okay, what does peace mean to me? Oof, peace means everything.
Right.
I'm the kind of person, if you disturb my peace, there's a very high chance that I'll move on and leave your space. Thank you very much. Back to you.
Thank you so much. I actually thought you were going to say, if you disturb my peace, I'm going to reciprocate and disturb yours in turn. We also have our Secretary Treasurer, Serah Wanjiku, present. Serah, please tell us what is the meaning of peace to you?
The meaning of peace to me is a full belly, a charged phone, a warm bed, and anything against that I will retaliate. Thank you.
My goodness, modern problems. I wonder what our forefathers are going to think about us when we say that is our standard for peace. But thank you so much for joining us this evening. Our Sergeant at Arms is Tigist Hailu, and our immediate past president is Kevin Kimbio. Is Kevin in the meeting? I can't see him. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. And also, I'd like to give an opportunity to visiting Toastmasters, those of us visiting us for the first time. We would like to hear where you're joining us from. And also, please answer that question that I fielded to our executive committee. What does peace mean to you? Anybody who would like to introduce yourself? If you're joining us for the first time, we'd really, really love to hear from you.
Hi, my name is Mercy Cherop.
Hey, Mercy.
This is my first time here. My Toastmasters club is Chiromo Toastmasters.
Right.
Peace to me is being able to get to bed and just sleep without thinking. That is peace to me. Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Thank you so much. We're glad to have you this evening. Mercy Cherop, please take our greetings back to Chiromo Toastmasters. Anybody else who would like to introduce themselves? If you're visiting us for the first time, we really want to know where you're joining us from. And we'd like to hear your definition of peace.
Hi, my name is Jared. I'm joining for the first time.
Thank you, Jared.
Peace to me means a state of calmness, irrespective of the circumstances surrounding me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jared, for joining us this evening. And thank you to all the other guests who are with us this evening. Please feel free to interact in the chat with our chat master, Mine Maina, in the course of the evening if you need anything. And we are really, really glad to have each and every one of you. Just to teach you something, when you come to Ethiopia, they have different greetings, but one of them, a laid-back greeting is peace now, which means is there peace, or are you at peace, or something like that. So keep that in mind. If you're ever in Addis Ababa, that is an easy greeting that you can use. A bit of club business before we proceed with our meeting. The meeting minutes of the previous meeting, of our previous meeting, was shared in the club members WhatsApp group. Are there any amendments that you would like to suggest to them? Any amendments would like to suggest to those minutes? If there are no amendments, I declare that the minutes of the previous meeting are adopted as shared in the WhatsApp group. Just to remind our members that our renewal season is currently going on. We have so far received payments from 7 of our members. Please continue to submit your payments to our Secretary Treasurer, Serah Wanjiku. We hope to have all the payments submitted by March 31st. And so please, reach out to her on how to go about that. Let's keep our videos on, especially during the prepared speeches, specifically because, like we said, we offer a positive and supportive environment, and keeping our videos on during the speeches offers visual, positive, and supportive feedback to our members. Tonight's meeting will be guided by our Toastmaster of the day, who will lead us through the prepared speeches, impromptu speaking, and evaluations, all tied together by our theme of legacy and impact. Our Toastmaster of the day this evening is Joyce Kibe, and she is a professional banker specializing in finance and credit and a dedicated leader in Toastmasters. She serves as the club president of Blue Eagles Toastmasters, a member of Leadership Speak, and the program quality director of Division D District 114. Joyce is a passionate mentor and coach both within and beyond Toastmasters, empowering individuals to grow in confidence and leadership. In addition to her leadership roles, she is a financial advisor, helping people to make informed financial decisions for a secured future. Peace means that she has a settled mind, nothing bothering her mind, and able to focus on her day-to-day activities without distractions. Let us put our hands together. Let us use our emojis to welcome our Toastmaster of the day, Joyce Kibe, to lead this meeting. Over to you, Joyce.
Thank you. Thank you, DTM Robert and the President. I am elated this evening to be here. I think it's my first time to be the Toastmaster of the day in this club. I am glad and thank you for the opportunity. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending with where you're joining us from. I hope we will work together even as we get to this ship until it docks at about 8:45. Today, we are discussing something that is very pertinent in my heart about legacy and impact. All of us, we are learning to be self-directed leaders. So as a person where you are, what are you working at? Just indulge me in the chat. When you hear about legacy, what comes into your mind? When you hear impact, what comes in your mind? Kindly indulge me in the chat. Let me just hear what you think about it. I'm waiting to see the responses. Mine, what will I be remembered for? Thank you. Mentoring and supporting others, Fatma. Someone else? When you talking about legacy and impact, what emotions come up when people may remember me or you? Thank you, Maggie. Chelagat, impact and legacy means creating change. I'll continue reading even as we continue with our meeting. So today I want us to reflect about legacy and impact. And leadership is not measured only by titles we hold and the decisions we make at the moment. Remember, when you are a leader, wherever you are, whatever you say holds water. That's something I need you to remember. Where you are and whatever decisions you make, they hold water. It is measured by the lasting influence we have on people, on values, and on culture that we intend to create. A true leader's footprint is seen in the confidence they inspire and the opportunities they open and the resilience they build in each other. As a leader, what opportunities are you giving to the people you're leading? Are you giving them the chance to be who they want to be? And the invisible marks we leave on their hearts and minds, they say, it is how you make me feel that will leave a lasting impression. And as advanced Toastmasters today, we are stewards of communication and leadership. In every speech that we deliver, every evaluation we give, and every role that we take is an opportunity to leave a footprint. So let's take our roles today and know that we are leaving footprints behind. And will it be the one for engagement or excellence or courage? That's a choice that we need to make. We'll continue with our discussion, but our meeting today will be divided into 3 segments. The first segment will be deliver prepared speeches where our speakers have been preparing, and this is one of my favorite places because I know speakers have taken time to prepare and practice their speeches. And then it will be followed with an audience poll. Please give them feedback to make them better speakers next time. In the second segment, Toastmasters and guests get the chance to practice impromptu speaking. This is where we think at our feet and we become better speakers. In the third segment, we listen to triple-tiered evaluation, where we have the content, delivery, and our super grammarian checking on how our speakers have performed. I will not be riding this ship alone. I have a tag team that I am working with. And the first person that I'll be introducing this evening is our timer. Our timer today is Catherine Bosibori. I had a question that I was posing to the role takers to tell us how they have influenced growth and confidence of those they lead. And this is what Catherine had to say, that she will give them permission to be fully themselves and does not lead with limits. It's also in how she shows up. Catherine, kindly come on the virtual stage and tell us what your role entails.
Thank you, Madam TMOD. My role is to help us keep time using virtual backgrounds. I will maintain a blue background with the word timer and change to green, yellow, and red. I'm going to share that as well so that you see what that looks like. There goes the green. There goes the yellow. It has the word of the day and red. Each displaying the word of the day. Prepared speeches and the general evaluators report are 5 to 7 minutes. I will show green at 5 minutes, yellow at 6 minutes, and red at 7. Table topics and language evaluations are 1 to 2 minutes. I will show green at 1 minute, yellow at 1 minute 30 seconds, and red at 2 minutes. Content and delivery evaluations and the Super Grammarians report at 2 to 3 minutes. I will show green at 2 minutes, yellow at 2 minutes 30 seconds, and red at 3 minutes. All speakers will appear in the polls. Only those within the qualifying time are eligible for awards. Therefore, aim to reach green and conclude within 30 seconds of red. A 30-second grace period applies before going under or over time, except for table topics where the minimum is 1 minute. I will keep my virtual hand raised for visibility, post each speaker's time in the Zoom chat, and deliver my report when called upon. Back to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Catherine, for that elaborate your role. Our next role taker is our super grammarian. And our grammarian this evening is our own VPE DTM, Kevin Rubia. When I asked him about the theme question, this is what he had to say, that he is patient with those he leads as he knows growth takes time. Over to you, Kevin.
Much obliged, Madam Toastmaster. As super grammarian, my role is 1, to listen carefully to everyone who speaks, noting excellent and improper use of the language, overused words or filler sounds used as crutches, and the usage of the word of the day, which, you guessed it, is engender, as displayed on the cards by the timer. Engender. Engender is a verb, and the other form of the word engender as noun form rather is engenderer, a person who engenders, and engenderment. The word engender means to cause or give rise to a feeling, situation, or condition. Let's have some examples. Great leaders engender trust through consistency and integrity. Using vivid stories can engender a deeper emotional connection with the audience. Whenever someone mentions the word of the day or its other forms, please acknowledge them by snapping your fingers or using the hand clap emoji. I will also present brief language evaluations for each speech and give my full report when called upon. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, our super grammarian. For sure, you're a super grammarian. Thank you very much for that presentation. I will jump the table topics master for now and the general evaluator. I will introduce them much later. Let's just take something else about our theme tonight, that the footprints we leave behind may guide someone long after we've stepped away. Remember, as a leader, you'll not be there forever. What footprints are you leaving? What will people remember you for? So even as you lead with intention, so that our legacy is one of impact, growth, and inspiration. That people coming after you, they will have something to say. They'll say, that person impacted my life in 1, 2, 3. They gave me a chance to grow, and they inspired my life to be the person I am. So while this works, inspiration tone, it elevates the theme beyond mechanics of leadership. So it's not mechanical. You need to connect with people to be able to inspire them to become the people you want them to be. Have a connection with people. It encourages members to reflect on leaders who influence them. Because unless you connect with someone, you will not know that person. You need to go beyond just the boss-employee relationship or a leader just showing up for meetings and going. Have a personal connection. There's also a call to action where we challenge members to think about the legacy they are creating, especially in Toastmasters and beyond. I want us to check and look at some of the leaders who have worked on legacy and thought about legacy in general. One of them is Martin Luther King Jr. with his famous speech that I have a dream. And his key lesson on legacy was leadership is about vision and moral courage, leaving a legacy of justice and equality. The second person I want us to reflect on is also Nelson Mandela. Numerous speeches during presidency and post-apartheid. I think most of us will never forget Nelson. After what he went through for almost 21 years, he still had a heart to forgive. And he said, true legacy comes from forgiveness, reconciliation, and building institutions that outlast the leader. Last but not least, Mother Teresa. Speeches on service and compassion. In everything that she did, she depicted compassion and service to the community. She also thought that leadership legacy is measured by kindness and the lives uplifted, not by titles and recognition. I'm hearing about a lot of titles and recognition. So let's be careful how we are leading. It's not being called boast this, boast that. It's about the person that you're becoming. What legacy, what impact are you leaving on the people that you're leading? And now, to the time that we have been waiting, prepared speeches. We have 2 speakers tonight, and they happen to be ladies. Boy child, tick-tock, boy child, tick-tock. I hope the next meeting I'll see a boy child somewhere. So today we'll be having 2 speakers who will be ladies that I know personally. They're my friends. So our first speaker tonight is Fatma Amiyo. Fatma Amiyo, when I asked the same question, she said, once she's gone, it will be said that I interacted with everyone across the organization. I will be calling upon the content evaluator, Jacque Njonjo, to introduce the objectives and the title of Fatma. Over to you, Jacque, to the virtual stage.
Good evening, Madam President, Toastmaster, and TMOD for the day, fellow Toastmasters and guests. As the TMOD has just mentioned, our first speaker today is Fatma Amiyo, who will be delivering her first speech in the presentation Mastery Path. The objective of this project is for Fatma to practice developing a plan, building a team, and fulfilling that plan. the essential skills not only in Toastmasters, but in leadership and project management. In this speech, Fatma will give us a brief overview of a project, focusing on what it takes to manage a project successfully, from the idea and to execution. And her speech will be delivered in 2 to 3 minutes. The title of Fatma's speech is Let's Do This. Please join me in welcoming Fatma Amiyo with her speech, Let's Do This. Let's do this, Fatma Amiyo.
Toastmasters, guests, friends. How many of us have read this book, Atomic Habits by James Clear? By a show of hands. Anyone who has read it or at least heard about it? Well done. Every time I pick the book and read, I think of one thing that I would incorporate into my life. And for the coming month, it's about a routine in my exercise. Don't get me wrong, I usually start, but somehow life happens. So what am I going to do about it? In this coming month, I have decided to create a consistent exercise routine. Remember, leaders have to be fit and strong. Who am I going to involve? My team is an amazing group of young human beings, and these are my life cheerleaders, my 4 children. All of them will be in this program. And the purpose is to ensure that we engender connection. The first 2, I know at some point they may get tired. The other 2, super energetic, and I know they will keep me in track. What are the resources required? Lots of time and energy. And I know for some days, I may have to trade off the activities that we'd have to do. So I am sure that I will require a budget to incorporate during this month. Are we going to have meetings? Yes, we are going to have weekly review meetings. And the purpose of these meetings is to check, what do we need to do? Is there anything we need to change? Or we will just incorporate. I am cognizant that whatever I am planning, the old school yoga and stretches may not work with my team members. So I am sure that I may have to be stretched to think about things that may be a little bit dangerous for my own self, but I am open because remember, let's do this. What are the 2 challenges I anticipate? The first challenge that I anticipate is, remember the schedule that keeps bumping off this exercise routine? I know some days I may not have time in the morning or in the evenings to have outdoor as would have been preferred, but I know this will not hold us back. Even if it's a few minutes, we are going to have indoor activities during this month. The second challenge that I anticipate is on some days, I may come in between gadget time and I may really become a bother to ensure that we are able to achieve this project successfully. What am I going to do about it? I will ensure that on some days, I will also be flexible to allow shorter exercise programs, and on some days, we can have longer exercise programs. As we think about what we have learned from Atomic Habits, leaders, what are you doing about the coming month? Let us remember that plans are not just for the beginning of the year. Every start of the month is a fresh opportunity for us to inculcate different activities into our lives. I challenge all of us on this call. Let us ensure that the 38 of us present will pick an activity for the coming month. Let us engender the connections that we are going to have with the people around us. I will be back in a month to share the experience. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you. Thank you, Fatma. Please give her the emojis, the love emojis, the relation for that speech. What did I hear today? Consistency. I know consistency is not easy. It's one of the names and things that I'm doing this year. And I know it's not easy. There's the challenges about schedule, the gadget time. And no gadget is a problem in every household. So it's something that we need to work on. And a takeaway from your speech, Fatma, is that planning comes at the beginning of every month. You have a chance to plan every beginning of the month. Next week, you have a chance to plan on Wednesday. It will be 1st April. Thank you very much, Fatma, for reminding us that. I will request the Sergeant at Arms to launch the audience feedback poll. Kindly give Fatma feedback so that after that 1 month, she will know what to do. It's important to know that consistency is not easy, but we have to put in some work to ensure that we achieve what we want to achieve. That was a good reminder, Fatma. Thank you. And now to our second speaker. Our second speaker is another lady that I love and I know, Serah Wanjiku. Serah Wanjiku, she will be doing her speech today. And before she comes on stage, I will want her to respond to my theme question before I welcome the evaluator who will be introducing her project. Serah?
I'm sorry, I missed the question. Kindly refresh it for me.
Let me say 1 second. So once you're gone, what will you be remembered for?
Once I'm gone, as somebody who lives every single day to die empty, I will be remembered for that one person who goes 110% in everything I do, especially in presence, showing up, loving those around me, and giving flowers when people are around.
Thank you. Thank you, Serah. I'm hearing about appreciation. I know each and every person here, when you do right, you love being appreciated. Thank you for that. I will welcome Makori on stage to kindly come and tell us what Serah's project is about. Over to you, Ali Makori.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster of the evening. It gives me great pleasure to be the content evaluator for Toastmaster Serah Wanjiku. And Serah has made tremendous progress as a speaker and as a leader today. She is on her innovative planning path, level 5 project number 2, and that is leading in a volunteer organization. And that would be the purpose of our speech, applying skills needed to successfully lead in volunteer organization. And it would be an inspirational speech. The title that she has chosen for her 5 to 7 minute speech is Wisdom for Mothers. Serah Wanjiku, Wisdom for Mothers, Wisdom for Mothers, Serah Wanjiku. Over to you.
Toastmaster of the day. Do you know that you do not have to be here today? Our super grammarian, Dr. Rubia, our in-house psychiatrist, do you know that you really do not have to be in this meeting? as a volunteer, you are just here because leadership is that important to you. Toastmasters and invited guests. The people you follow lead because the people you lead follow you because they choose to follow. And most times, this is a bit of a comfort zone issue because when you leave your comfort zone, it engenders growth. January of 2025 was a beautiful Saturday. I had received an invite as an alumni of a book that changed my life. Wisdom for Mothers by Denise Glenn. This book is a program offered by our church ministry under the Woman Fellowship. It was an open day for us graduates to come and encourage other ladies to join in the book, share our experiences, and just hold their hands on making that big step. I arrived looking sharp as always, sat at the front, taking pride in having done this amazing book. As the master of ceremonies, right at the question and answer segment, little did I know that I will leave that meeting with a different title. And I asked a question that had been bothering me. I don't know if it's a me issue or this happens to most of us. You can write on the chat box, or maybe I can ambush one of the content evaluators, Jacque. Do you find yourselves in different seasons of your life and your perspective changes, Jacque? Okay.
I'm so sorry, Serah. There are two Jacques. Yes. Is it me, this Jacque?
Yes, the content evaluator. You.
Great. Yes. Yes, of course. Yes, of course, Serah. Awesome. I do find myself in lots of seasons. Yes, very much so. Yeah.
That really validates me because I thought it was a me problem. And I asked them, since I feel I'm in a different season, can I maybe do this book again? Because I had graduated a few years before. And one of the senior facilitators told me this: Serah, the only way you will benefit in this season is for you to facilitate this book and for the kindness that you receive from another woman to mentor you and take in other mentees. I felt I'm a Toastmaster. All these competencies I have led in Toastmasters, one of the biggest non-profit volunteer organizations. This will be a walk in the park. In fact, this is the opportunity for me to show off what I'm made of. I took up the challenge. Toastmasters and guests. To say I was humbled is an understatement. Everything was all rosy until lesson number 5, when conflict of opinion and personality hit me from nowhere, and I would not understand what was happening. 1 minute we are planning for an overnight sleep over for us to bond as ladies, and someone's saying, add more meat. I don't like that type of oil. The room must have air conditioning. Make sure that there is a pool. And someone else added, the beds must not be many. We'll be sitting and talking the whole night. If you want to sleep, you'll sleep at your house, and other short stories. The ladies were all over each other. And we stopped planning and had to regroup again to sit and understand what was really happening. Long story short, because I'm not allowed to give the full details, I had to escalate this issue to those who were my leaders. What did I learn in this whole experience after receiving my 360 evaluation and taking a team that will be graduating this Mother's Day in May? These were my challenges: conflicts of opinion, clashing personalities, entitlement of my time as a volunteer. And why would I do this again? I stopped thinking that everything is about me. I'm a girl who loves herself and thinks that the sun rotates around me. This one changed all that. I don't take everything personally anymore as a leader and as a woman. I also got comfortable in being just a messenger and being comfortable of this message engendering a seed inside the people that I was leading. So how did this work out for me? The best way to find myself was to lose myself in the service of others. I have gained sisters. I have gained daughters because one of the youngest in the group was just 19 years old. I have gained leadership skills I never thought that I would really embrace. And with this, Toastmasters and guests, take up that role, take up that challenge, and take up that thing that you feel is holding you back. Over to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you. Thank you, Serah. Please appreciate her. Give her the love. What an inspiring speech. I know about entitlement. When we are told to take up roles and we think we are Toastmasters, we are super people because we've been learning how to speak, to start thinking at our feet, and we think we can take all the roles without even saying anything. Thank you for the reminder. The conflict of opinions, it's very important as leaders to know that we will get conflict of opinions, but what are we doing about them? I also heard the people follow you because they choose to. And even as they follow you, what impact, what legacy are you leaving to them? Thank you, Serah, for that reminder. There's a form in front of your screen. Kindly give her feedback. Tell her what she did well and what she needs to improve on. Thank you, SA, for your prompt job you're doing tonight. And let me share something of more people who talked about legacy and impact. Mandela and King, they also reminded us about moral clarity and service. Wherever you are, be morally upright. What morals are you carrying with you, even as you're giving your services as a leader? Someone else is Makori, who shows that leadership impact often comes with consistent of small actions. Fatma has reminded us tonight about consistency. We need to be consistent, even if it is small things that you're doing. You start small, and even as you're doing it repeatedly, you will be able to get there. Another person who also spoke about empowerment is Robbins and Obama. they emphasized on building systems and people who thrive beyond the leader. We need to check on the systems that we are placing and the people who we want them to grow, that are they thriving beyond you. Sometimes I know it is hard when we say that we want people to be better than us. Sometimes it is easier said than done. But I want to challenge you today. Are you able to humble enough to make sure that the people who are working under you are thriving? Also, service and compassion, as I had mentioned, Mother Teresa highlights that legacy is about how many lives you have touched. It's not just even where you are, even in Toastmasters, you can do that. Back in your church, back at home, how are you touching lives? You can just take like a children's home, go celebrate with them. Even if it's a weekend, you'll have touched human lives with that. And last but not least, there's innovation and creativity, where the jobs demonstrates how ideas and passion can leave footprints across generations. So even as we are thinking about tonight as a leader, check what footprints are you leaving. Wherever that you're leading, check it out. Next session, please vote for your best speaker. And we normally call them the best effort speaker because they are all good speakers. Kindly vote for your better speaker. And now, kindly please do not log out. We are doing the table topic session. I believe Gilbert is in the house. And when I asked Gilbert about what he thought about my theme question, this is what he had to say. He does a lot of mentoring, especially for new Toastmasters, to help them achieve their goals. Gilbert, welcome to the virtual stage. Is Gilbert here?
I confirm he is joining shortly.
Okay. I stand guided. Should you do the evaluation as you wait for this, or how do we do this?
You could give us some tidbits as I invite him from the waiting room.
Thank you. So legacy, we started, let me just read some of the responses that I got when I asked my question. We had Maggie Waidiro who said, what emotions come up when people remember you or me? Thank you. We also had Maureen Chelagat who said, impact and legacy means creating change. Wow, I like what I am seeing. Eric A. Makori also said that growing others, which is very important, that we need to lift others even as we grow. Remember, when you rise alone, not many people or not a lot of impact will be felt. Wahiga also said, people who benefit for what I had courage to do. Remember, some things have to start with you. Some things are not easy, but they need someone to stand up and say, this is how I need people to do. Let me give you an example. Back at my workplace, we had a leader. Currently, she's late. She's one lady that we'll never forget because when she took up leadership, her department was known. And there were things that were not going right in that department. So she stood up for them and she motivated alignment on how the roles were taken. She even went ahead and even motivated for a salary increment based on the benchmark in the market. Because there is one thing that she told the CE at the time, that I am not able to work with a demotivated lot. So what did that lady do? She stood up. She acted with courage because no one works with people who are demotivated, because that is one thing that made everyone to date, even when she's long gone, people still have her in mind. She's almost late. I think this should be her 3rd or 4th year, but it's something that I still remember to date. May she rest in peace. Our content evaluator also said, Jacque, authenticity. Yes, that is also very key when on the legacy and impact that you're leaving. So yeah, thank you very much for those responses and indulging me. And I understand he's now in. Gilbert, let me try reading your second name. I told myself today I'll try read your name and I hope I get it right. Gilbert Rutebemberwa. He will be our table topics master tonight. And this is what he had to say when I asked his theme question. He does a lot of mentoring, especially for new Toastmasters, to help them achieve their goals, and not just at Toastmasters, but also at his workplace. Gilbert, kindly welcome to the virtual stage and indulge us in the impromptu speaking, and please do not log off. Keep him company. Let's do this, Toastmasters. Over to you, Gilbert.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the evening, and good evening, everyone. Apologies, I'm not able to turn on my camera because I was attending to another urgent meeting and I'm not in a place where I can put on a camera. Nonetheless, I'm here to take us through the table topic session. Table topic session is where we practice our impromptu speaking. And this is the skill that helps us to quickly prepare a speech, organize it, and deliver it in a short time. This can save your marriage. It can win you a lover. It can earn you a business. It can give you promotion at your work. So it's not something to take lightly. It is that split second that you might need in your life. So let's practice how to do it. We'll give you a question that I will expect you to answer in a structured manner within 1 to 2 minutes. I will start with a seasoned Toastmaster to answer this question. I will choose from any of the Toastmasters. And the question is, what story do you want your life to tell? What story do you want your life to tell? Toastmaster Paul Mwanga. Paul, are you there? Okay, looks like Paul is not in a place where he can talk. I could pass on the question to another person. Any volunteer, you could put up your hand and I pick you.
Yo,
Can put up. Sorry?
Leon De Silva.
Leon, kindly take it up.
Could you just repeat the question? The topic, please.
Yes. What story do you want your life to tell? What story do you want your life to tell?
What story do I want my life to tell?
Correct.
Thank you for this table topic. What story do I want my life to tell? First of all, thank you for this opportunity to give for speaking on the stage. And if I were to endeavor what I would get from this meeting is basically my story of my life would be a positive one. I would want, no one wants let's all be truthful to ourselves. We don't want to give a life which is negative. But even though we try to be positive to each other, there's a lot of negatives in the world. And I think if I work on a day-to-day activity life, and I do each day a good positive, say I live for another 50 years, I would at least do 50 positive things in a day. So that way, I would be remembered for those 50 positive things which I have done in my life. And that would be my satisfaction, which I would have to go to. So that's something which I'd like to endeavor, and I like to give it back to the world. Because this is the only one world which I have known as my home. And this is the only one place where I can give back. There's no other place where I can give it back to, isn't it? So, if you guys agree with me, I think you would know saying that giving a good heart, being a small human being, is some things which we would like to endeavor, and we would like our legacy of our life to be given back to you. Back to you, table topic master.
Thank you very much, Leon, for that. Any other volunteer, please, so I can ask the second question? Please put up your hand, any volunteer, especially our guests that may not have participated at all in this meeting yet. Please put up your hand and I'll pick you. Okay, is Belinda Kubia in a position to talk? So Belinda, this is a question for you. Belinda, kindly confirm that you are able to talk. Okay, let me pick another person. Martin Irungu. Martin Irungu, kindly confirm that you are in a position to talk.
Hello.
Yes, perfect, Martin. Now, this is a question for you. How does the way you are living now align with your desired legacy? How does the way you are living now align with your desired legacy? Martin, are you still alive? I can't hear you.
Yeah, I'm still alive. I was thinking of.
Perfect. Please take it away.
Okay.
Martin, are you still attempting it?
Yeah, I'm still thinking of the answer to that.
Okay. In the interest of time, may I choose another person? Any other volunteer who would like to attempt that question, please?
This is Jared Opundo. Let me give it a shot. The way I live now, I would wish it to have a lasting impact way beyond my lifetime. And that begins all the way from my family, where I have the most time. I would want the values that I espouse, the values of integrity, the value of servant leadership, honesty. Those are values that I would want to see carried through my children in the place that I work, the sense of excellence that would represent what I stand for and what I believe. thinking of key figures who have lived through history, like Martin Luther King, Nelson Mandela, and the like, there are people who are able to still live beyond their times. They are remembered for the impact that they had through their generations. And that is the kind of legacy that I would want to leave behind, especially how I made people feel and how this influences their values and how that changes. For I believe that in every setting that I am exposed to, I aspire to be the light in that particular environment, to bring hope where there seems to be no hope, and to encourage people who are about to give up. And so I would want to be remembered as one who stood for truth, who stood for integrity, one who would encourage those who are downtrodden and give them a chance to get the best out of their lives. That is my hope and desire for my life. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Jared, for that. And my last question of the evening, anyone who'd like to volunteer to take it up? It's an interesting one. You can't afford to miss this question. Any volunteer, please unmute. Oh, Hillary Hillary. Here we go. Hillary, what do you want people to say about you in your eulogy? What do you want people to say about you in your eulogy? Over to you.
Sorry, I'm in a dark place. I'm on the road. Yes. Life is for the living. When we live a full life, we are able to experience it fully. When we live life with the foresight of what people will say about us when we are gone, we are likely to lose some element of experiencing a full life. For me, given that I won't be there anyway, it's not a question that I ask myself. Question that I ask myself now, doing today to make tomorrow better. That tomorrow is not assured. I may be there, I may not be there. Tomorrow may be the day that my eulogy will be read. It could be the next 76 years. Then the question I ask myself every morning is, what am I doing? What am I saying about my life? That becomes the most important question. If I live my life asking myself that question, then I'm able to align it with my purpose, not other people's purpose. So the question, Mr. Table Topics Master, is what am I saying about my life now? And is it aligned to their purpose? What people will say may not be a question I ask myself. It's for them to say. I won't even hear it anyway. Back to you, Mr. Table Topics Master.
Thank you very much, Hillary, for that eulogy about Hillary. I really appreciate you and appreciate everyone that has attempted these table topics questions. Back to you, Toastmaster of the evening.
Yes. Thank you, Gilbert, for helping us think. My God, for a minute there, I thought you had mistaken. You were talking about a eulogy. Oh, okay. So we have the 3 speakers who spoke tonight. Kindly just get to choose the better speaker for tonight. And let me just encourage us about table topic session. It's a session that you keep learning even as you speak. It's not easy for everyone or for any one of us because it's a topic you haven't prepared for. But even as you continue speaking, you become better. Even when you go out to those meetings, to those functions when you've not prepared, and then you're told in the next 5 minutes, you're supposed to give 1, 2, 3 things. you're spot on and people think you're a superman or a superwoman. So let's not shy away. Let's take it up. Let's try. That's how we grow. And now to the feedback session, we say feedback is a gift and feedback is a breakfast of champions. Want to hear how our speakers have done tonight and what they need to improve on? And here at Watabaruku, we do it in 3 stages. We have a content evaluator, we have a delivery evaluator, and then we have a language evaluator. And the persons that will be evaluating our first speaker, Fatma, we have a content evaluator, Jacque Njonjo. The delivery evaluator will be Wahiga Gichinga, and the language evaluator will be our super grammarian, Kevin Rubia. So when I asked Jacque the response to my question, this is what she had to say. She's clear of her expectations, coaching along the way, and trusting them to take ownership. That is the people they are leading. So this builds both capability and confidence. Over to you, Jacque, to give us your thoughts tonight.
He's on mute. Can't hear us.
Jacque, you're on mute.
Sorry about that. Thank you so much, Fatma, for your speech. I listened closely to the speech with one question in mind. Did the speech land? And did it engender clarity rather than confusion? And I'm happy to report that for most of us, we followed your speech journey very, very, very well. The speech had a clear and a well-defined purpose. And from the start, it was evident that you wanted us to reflect on what you wanted us to reflect on, and that the clarity helped engender confidence in the message being delivered. At no point did I find myself thinking, where am I? Why am I here? Which is always a good sign. The opening, Fatma, was engaging, and I particularly liked the moment when you pulled out a copy of Atomic Habits. And I must admit, I haven't read the book yet, but after this speech, Fatma, it's officially moving to the top of my reading list. The body of the speech was logical. It was logically structured, with ideas unfolding in a way that made sense and even built momentum. Each point supported the next, helping again engender understanding rather than information overload. Fatma, you did a good job in terms of developing ideas with relevant explanations. Nothing felt rushed and nothing overstayed its welcome. Transition between sections were clear and were smooth. And this also engendered a sense of flow, making the speech feel like a connected journey. The conclusion effectively reinforced the message and brought the speech to a satisfying close. It reminded us why the topic mattered, and left us with a clear takeaway. Fatma, for an even greater impact, I would suggest 2 things. I think one area for further strengthening would be sharpening a key idea to make it more memorable. The title, Let's Do This, was mentioned only once during the speech. While that worked, it could have been more impactful if the title had been woven into a few more sections to reinforce the central message. I also found it a little challenging to connect Atomic Habits with the exercise plan. I think including a brief reference to the book or linking its principles to the plan would have helped strengthen the connection and made the theme very clear. Overall, I think it was a well-structured and thoughtfully developed speech. The content was clear and purposeful and effective in guiding the audience from the beginning to the end. And most importantly, Fatma, it engendered understanding rather than confusion. Well done. And over to our delivery evaluator.
Thank you, Jacque. Fatma, I'm going to just add to what Jacque has said and to just analyze how you delivered your speech. You had great eye contact. You had a good stage presence. You have expressive hands. And when I say expressive hands, is that you use them well, especially when you're emphasizing a point, when you were excited, when you were numbering, you used your hands, and that supported the message that you were delivering. You had a flexible voice that was interesting to listen to. You maintained a conversational tone that made it easy to follow what you were saying, and you felt like you're not speaking at us, you were speaking with us. And I loved the pace of your speech, and just to echo what Jacque said, nothing felt rushed or nothing overstayed the welcome. Yes, so you have a very good pace for your speech. Something else that enhances your delivery is your volume. You vary your volume high and low depending on what you want us to understand, and especially when you emphasize a point, you go quite loud. So it's clear about the intention of using your volume. Yes, and something else I want to mention is the use of a prop. I think much have been said by the contact evaluator, but yes, you were smooth with the prop, and I think that was great. To challenge yourself is when you need to, where you need to place your hands after, when you don't need to use them, and your default is clasping them. And challenge yourself is just put them at the side or just let them be free. You don't need to hold back, because it could mean many more things other than just a resting place. So well done, Fatima, and keep speaking. So I hand over this to the grammarian, super grammarian, DTM, Kevin Rubia.
The language evaluation, friends, comprises these things. One is appropriateness, that refers to clear understanding of purpose and language that is fitting for the occasion. Secondly is correctness, to make sure that the grammar, pronunciation, and word selection are apt. I can confidently say, Fatma, that you excelled both in appropriateness and correctness. Let me give you specific areas of where you excelled and what you could do better moving forward. Starting with a rhetorical question, which is a figure of speech, helps us as audience members get glued to your speech. Use the word engender at least twice when you are referring to connection. And you had vocabulary such as cognizant, that means knowledgeable of something, especially through personal experience. It also means mindful. You had the other word inculcate, to fix beliefs or ideas in someone's mind, especially by repeating them often, otherwise known as instill. You could work on dropping your crutch so. Friends, so is a conjunction, but sometimes can be dropped during our sentences, as some of yours could do without them, and making your remarks short and pithy, especially for a 2 to 3 minute speech, so that you can speak within time. Well done on your excellence in making sure that you communicated effectively using language. You engendered connection through your speech. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, our evaluators. We say evaluation is not just for the speaker of the day, but it's also for us as the audience, when next time we are making our speeches, that we do and consider what we are being told. Moving on swiftly to evaluation of our second speaker, Serah Wanjiku, who will be evaluated by the content evaluator, Eric Ali Makori. The delivery evaluator will be Charlotte Ochieng, and our language evaluator will be our super grammarian. Our content evaluator, Ali, before you give us your evaluation, kindly respond to my theme question that what stories will your theme tell about your leadership when you're long gone? Then kindly go ahead and give her Serah's evaluation. Over to you.
First and foremost, from the time I was engendered male in my mother's womb, that is assigned the male gender, death was not part of the equation. So I hope that I do not die. And I'm saying this very seriously. However, in the sad event that I do, I would like that people remember me as one person who lived life to the full, who had mirth and touched other lives positively and mentored and coached and raised a generation of human beings that will live to impact positively as well. Over to my evaluation. Thank you, Serah. You are a fabulous speaker. It's easy to listen to you. You inspired, and that's what you had set out to do. Yes, you did inspire us to be leaders in a volunteer organization. You even said that we didn't have to be here. Yes, we are here voluntarily. We are taking up roles. And this is the nobility of the human spirit, that unlike brute creatures, they do not do anything for the benefit of the rest. It's almost always the case that it is for selfish gain. Your ideas were put together in a way that we could understand them. Very well done. The speech was structured very well, chronologically. That is why we were able to follow you very well. And we could tell clearly at the beginning of your leadership journey and the takeaways at the conclusion, where you invited us also to rise up and be leaders in a volunteer organization. Very well done. You engaged the audience very well. I do not know how the rest resonated because many were not on video, but if I can use myself as an example, yes, I said I was enamored and glued, and I was drawn in by the humor that you injected. More you will see in the evaluation form. However, two things I would like you to work on. One, the introduction felt rather long to me, given that you have a 7-minute moratorium. Now, before you got into the leadership space, you took close to 2 minutes. That engendered fear in me that you may not be able to pack everything that you needed before the 7 minutes elapse. And at this stage, I will ask the timer, how many minutes did our speaker take? Timer.
7 minutes, 10 seconds.
Great. You've managed to keep it within time. Keep it up. But as you noticed, you rushed the conclusion somewhat. I wish to also state that, yes, because of that, the conclusion was not leisurely as you would have wanted it to be, because then time was not on your side, was not your best ally. However, your speech was of tremendous value because we are in a volunteer organization. Therefore, it was very relevant to our existence here. And we are always thrust into the volunteering space in our neighborhoods, in our areas of worship, and so on. So keep speaking, keep inspiring. Very well done. Over to you, Charlotte, our delivery evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Makori. Wisdom for mothers. Serah, that was a strong and very engaging delivery. Well done. Your ability to stay on engaging with the eye contact really helped to connect very authentically with your audience, at least to me. I could tell you were looking directly at me. Your smile was warm and very inviting, and that's helped you to really own the stage and be very approachable. And I also liked how you extended a question to the audience, asking a question around seasons and going ahead to even pick a person to engage on that. And that was great. It was a powerful moment there of connection. And it just showed how confident you are in bringing in your audience into your message. Yes, you also displayed very great stage presence. You're very confident. I could say and add that you were composed and you took ownership of your space. Your tonal variation added depth to your delivery. In particular, there was a moment you mentioned about a sleepover where you had some women engaging, and what stood out is how you were able to mimic their voices during the sleepover, how you were bringing out the different experiences you had during that sleepover, brought really your story to life and added humor as well, and made your message very memorable, I must say. In terms of delivery, I would pick out a few things that, Serah, you could consider to add to your next speech going forward. I would encourage you to refine the use of hand gestures. At times, it felt not very intentional, and there's a possibility that it could not have been sync with your message. For instance, there was a very good opportunity where you talked about some 3 important points that stood out for you, some 3 ideas: conflict of opinions, clashing personalities, and entitlement. There's a very good opportunity there for you to use hand gestures and just rhyme in with your message. Additionally, I would encourage you to find a way to position your camera in a way that doesn't make you crouch, so that you fit into the frame of the camera that you're using so that we can see you perfectly. I felt that it could have hindered your delivery slightly in terms of posture. And if you could just ensure that your eye contact is directly into the camera so that you don't have to crouch, or perhaps position it in terms of elevating a little higher, maybe that could be something you want to consider. Otherwise, Serah, I totally agree, as you had said in your description to the Toastmaster of the day, that you show up 100% in all situations. And this one was just one of them where you did so. You showed up with confidence, you showed up with energy and commitment, and you did give it really that 110%. So well done, and see you in your next speech, Serah. And over to you, Super Grammarian.
Serah made sure that our attention was gotten from the get-go using her rhetorical and direct questions where she addressed one person during her speech. She used the word engender at least 3 times. That meant she really inculcated the word into her speech and practiced. The vocabulary validate, which means knowledgeable of something, especially through... No, I don't think that's valid. To validate is to make, is to say something is true. That is what she did when she used the word validate. And she used an idiom, a walk in the park, which means an easy task. That embellished her language. Areas we could grow moving forward, Serah, are making sure that we use the right verb when we are comparing plural and singular. For example, there was a moment you listed challenges but used the word is. When we are listing items, plural is preferred. There are challenges, for example. So happens to be your crutch, let's look out for that. The pronunciation of the word volunteer is volunteer. I heard you say volunteer, which is a common phrase, especially in East Africa. It's volunteer as opposed to volunteer. And I felt this would be an appropriate time to describe yourself when you described how sharp you are, perhaps the color of your dress, the smell of your perfume. Descriptive language could engender vivid expressions and make you more memorable. Back to you, our Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, our evaluators. Kindly, members, please open your mic. Give the emojis to our evaluators. Those were valuable insights. I'm sure each and every person has taken a nugget or two to apply in the next speech. Our essay, kindly launch the polls so that we can get the better effort evaluator. And even as we submit our evaluation, I want us to think about the general perspective of legacy and impact. Remember, as a leader, you're not there forever. We are aging. And as the days are moving, we started January just a few weeks ago. The first quarter is gone. But in each generation, as we are working there and inherit the legacies and create impacts, what are we working on? What are we working to be remembered for? And one ethical question I need us to remember: what will people endure when you're gone? Are you doing things that people will sit back and say, we are benefiting because this particular leader was ready to pay the price? And the perspective emphasizes on responsibility. Our choices today, they shape the lives that we may never meet if we miss. Remember, chances come once and they come with an expiry date. Sometimes a chance cannot be repeated. So once it is missed out, or maybe you, God forbid, you fall sick and you didn't do what you expected to do, the people who you're working with, they may endure something that when you're long gone, they'll say, this type of leader would have done something different and would be enjoying. And some applications in leadership and personal growth would say great leaders focus not just on short-term wins, but on building systems. Let's not be leaders who are just checking tomorrow or today. That's why we have, let me use an acronym, as CVP, meaning system that you're building for people to learn and to refer when they are leading. Mentorship as well. Toastmasters has taught us there is a 6-month program where a mentor needs to learn. And mentorship is not easy. It's a journey between you and the mentor. You need to guide members. We call them mentees. And their legacy is carried forward through their mentee's success. And remember how you mentor your mentee today. Those are the lessons he will carry or she will carry when mentoring the next time. The companies where we are working are judged not only by the profits, but their legacy. Have you had companies that give maternity for 6 months? Can you imagine? 6 months? And some even men. I don't even know what you do with 6 months men. And after 2 weeks, you're already up and running. Yeah? But they end up enjoying those 6 months. So those are companies we keep on giving examples that they uphold the ladies in terms of maternity leaves. Some risks and challenges that may come with a bad legacy and impact. It's harmful policies. When you're seated in those boardrooms, if you give bad policies, they will come to harm people later. They'll give room for corruption. for exploitation, and they can leave destructive impacts that persist through generations and generation. Because before you revert, say, for example, a policy, it may need to go through a system. Also, short-term, just focusing on short-term. Let's learn to think long-term because we are impacting for a longer period. And also balance. Its true success lies in balancing the present impact with future legacy. And now I want us to invite our tag team, the people who have been riding with me this ship, to give us their reports. I will come the timer. Let us do how we are doing with time. Over to you, our timer.
Thank you, Madam TMOD. I will quickly start with my report, or rather on my report. The prepared speeches, Fatma Amiyo, her speech had 2 to 3 minutes allocated. She was slightly above. She took 3 minutes, 58 seconds. Serah Wanjiku, her speech was allocated 5 to 7 minutes. She took 7 minutes, 10 seconds. She was within time. For the table topics, we had Leon De Silva. Time allocated was 1 to 2 minutes. He took 1 minute, 42 seconds. Jared Opudo, same time allocation, 1 minute, 40 seconds. Hilary Cheruyot, the time allocation was 1 to 2 minutes. He took 1 minute, 42 seconds. For the evaluations, Jacque and Njonjo took 2 minutes, 55 seconds. Wahiga Gichinga took 2 minutes. Kevin Rubia, with an allocation of 1 to 2 minutes, took 1 minute, 42 seconds. Eric Makori took 3 minutes, 15 seconds. Charlotte Ochieng took 3 minutes, 30 seconds. And Kevin Rubia, once again, took 2 minutes, 9 seconds. And I have taken 1 minute exactly. Back to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
I like that, Catherine, that you're also timing yourself. Time is everything and it waits for no man. And now to our next tag team. Our super grammarian, please come on the virtual stage and let us know how we did with our King's language. I say King's language because our queen is dead. Now we call it King's language. Over to you, Daktari.
The following engendered happiness in me by using the word of the day: Fatma Amiyo, Serah Wanjiku, Ali Makori, and Jacque, who I think used it more than 4 times. Well done to all of us. Let us try to use the word engender during the weekend and the rest of the month. The following words stood out to me. You could take a screenshot, friends, if you do not know any of these words, to look them out later. Tidbit, downtrodden, espouse, crouch, mirth, nobility, resonate, enamored, moratorium, and endure. Pause a bit in case you're taking a screenshot. These words add vocabulary and make us sound good in public. I'll skip the language evaluations. One thing we can improve on is, instead of saying overall is correct. Colloquialisms like guys may not be appropriate in such a setting that is considered formal. Maybe friends, ladies and gentlemen, Toastmasters and guests, etc. Read this book as opposed to do this book. The word gesture is gesture, not gesture. This is important as we use this word a lot in Toastmasters. Remember G for giraffe, gesture. And the crutches that I had, apart from the speakers, Those for the speakers were Joyce, and also at least twice Jared, 4 hours, and Leon, 2 souls. I leave you with this quote: "The art of communication is the language of leadership," by James Humes. Over to you, our Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you. Thank you, our super grammarian. We'll check on that. And now to the person who has been listening, who has been observing, and she comes on stage to give us the feedback of how this meeting was ran, our general evaluator. When I asked Joyce Wangari, whom we share a name, this is what Joyce had to say. She leads by example if she expects excellence. That is, she shows it first. Over to you, Joyce, to tell us how we ran our meeting and how it was organized. Over to you, Joyce.
Thank you, Madam TMOD. My role as the General Evaluator is to provide an insightful and balanced overview of the meeting, celebrating excellence and identifying areas that as a club you require to refine. I will deliver my report as follows. From preparation, I'm happy to report that all roles were filled in good time. The meeting poster was well circulated on various groups and several people shared on their WhatsApp statuses. The agenda was shared few hours before the meeting. During the meeting room was opened 30 minutes before time. The president welcomed everybody who got into the room before the meeting officially started. There was great music on the background for those of us who got to join the meeting before 7 p.m. I loved the word game as it acted as a way of warming up for the meeting. On time management, the meeting started exactly at 7 p.m. And if I look at the agenda, we're still within time. Well done. The president was highlighted what Toastmaster is all about, which helped any guest in the room to at least know where they were. For the TMOD, I loved your energy. You're well versed with the theme. You had 2 different theme questions for the role takers and speakers, which boosts meeting engagement. Great listening skills. After every speaker and role taker, you clearly picked points from them and restated. I loved your calmness when the table topics master was not in the room within time. You remained composed. To the speakers, you all had great internet connection. We did not lose any one of you when you're delivering your speeches. Your voices were well projected. I loved that you all had props and engaged the audience with some questions. Chat master, super active at engaging the people on the chat. The table topics master clearly explained his role in a very humorous way. Well done. He aligned the questions with the theme. On the meeting agenda, I love that you incorporated transition time. You included the word of the day. And something interesting, you included what the club name means. All evaluators have provided valuable feedback and articulated it in a simple and understanding way. To the tag team, you explained your roles very well and your reports were well detailed. Which areas can you improve as Watabaruku advance to give a better experience? Number 1, the chat master or whoever is responsible can consider posting the meeting agenda on the chat. They can also consider posting Toastmaster abbreviations. For example, what TMOD means, what GE means, so that if a guest comes in, they're able to understand who is this TMOD, who is this GE, and what are they supposed to be doing. Also on the word game, I realized that most of us joined immediately or a few minutes before 7, as if we are all waiting for that 7 so that we can join the meeting. I believe that the purpose of the word game is to set an energetic tone. So you may consider probably in your poster indicating that the meeting starts at 6:45. All in all, well done. Happy to serve as your GE, and back to you, Madam TMOD.
Thank you. Thank you, our General Evaluator. Please clap for my tag team. They have delivered from our timer, our General Evaluator. We always say feedback. We do it and get better by the day. As we conclude today's meeting, I want us to consider some final thoughts on our theme, legacy and impact. That the legacy is the lasting imprint of our values, of our actions in leadership. It's not just a definition of our titles. Our titles, they are just there to maybe denote the normal employees and just the leaders. But let's just go beyond them. Let it be spoken about term achievements, about the culture that we are creating and the people we uplift, the systems we leave behind for the future generations to enjoy. And that an impact will be created. The immediate influence that we have through our decision, the words that we are using and the actions, it is how we shape our outcomes. Whether we are inspiring confidence or are we driving change, solving problems with integrity. We always say great leaders engender trust through consistency and discipline and leading with integrity. Everything that you do, remember, it's what you stand for that will be remembered. So together, legacy and impact remind us that leadership is both for present and future focused. And impact is what people feel now, and legacy is what they'll remember later while we are long gone. So great leaders balance both making meaningful contributions in the moment while building foundations that endure long after they are gone. I have been your Toastmaster of the day. My name is Joyce Kibe. I have loved being here. Thank you for indulging me in the chat. You didn't leave me hanging. Thank you for all the evaluators. Thank you for the super grammarian, our timer. Everybody today, you made the meeting a success. And I hope that even as you lead, legacy and impact will be something that you'll be remembered for. Back to you, President DTM Roberts.
Thank you so much, Joyce Kibe, for that amazing, very well run meeting. Definitely, you have left a legacy and an impact at Watabaruku Advanced Toastmasters Club for the time that you've helped us have this evening, for the lessons that you've shared with us and how you have built us up as leaders and made a difference in our lives. Thank you so much. Let us appreciate Joyce using the emojis and thank her for the time that she spent with us. And before proceeding any further, let me announce the results of the polls that we took earlier. The best table topics speaker for this evening, drum rolls real quick, Hilary Cheriot. Congratulations on that. The best evaluator, drum rolls, Dr. Kevin Rubia. Congratulations on that. And finally, the best speaker, drum rolls, Serah Wanjiku. Congratulations to all of you. And also, we'd like to recognize some of our members who've completed levels. First up, I would like to recognize DTM Maggie Waithiru for completing level 1 of the presentation mastery path. Congratulations, Maggie. And also Gilbert Rutebemberwa for completing level 5 of the leadership development path. Great job to the both of you. Members, once again, please remember to submit your dues before March 30th. And to become a member of Watabaruku Advanced Toastmasters Club, please reach out to our VPM, Gilbert Rutebemberwa, whose contacts are going to be shared in the chat. I would now like to give an opportunity to our Vice President Education, Kevin Rubia, DTM, to please confirm and fill remaining roles for our next meeting.
Indeed, Mr. President, our next meeting will be on the 10th of April, 2026, Friday. That's the second Friday. I will need a general evaluator, topics master, delivery evaluator, content evaluator, and chat master. If you are interested in any of the roles, please reach out to me on the chat, Mr. President.
Thank you so much for that. Please reach out to Kevin to fill those roles. And finally, I would like to give an opportunity to some of our guests to tell us how they found our meeting. Did they enjoy it? Did you have a great time? Any of the guests who would like to speak for a brief moment and just tell us, what was your experience this evening like? Was it awesome? Could you improve? Please let us know. Anybody?
Yeah, this is Jared. It's the first time that I'm attending this, and I found it very interactive, very relevant, quite informative, and it goes a long way in building, the leadership skills and also the communication skills, which are key in ensuring that we really move forward and be able to articulate effectively. So I really appreciate the feedback and the interaction that I've seen here. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, Jared, and we really appreciate you coming to our meeting this evening, and we hope to see you again in future. I'd seen someone else unmute themselves, Kevin. Kabuma Isaac, sorry.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you. It was a pleasure attending this meeting, though I came in a little late. I'm sorry. To be honest, this is one of from the best of my knowledge and to the best of my experience, this was the most prepared kind of online gathering that I've really attended, and it was really nice. The lady was talking nicely, slowly, and I think there was really nice things going on. And we hope to be together to attain the nice mission, the great missions and the visions of Toastmasters. Back to you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kabuma Isaac, for joining us this evening. Thank you so much for that feedback and encouragement that you've given us. We hope to see you again in future in our meetings. Thank you so much. Big thanks to you to all our members and visitors, visiting Toastmasters leaders for making time to be with us this evening. Like our VPE said, our next meeting is going to be on the 10th of April, the same time, the same place. It's going to be online. We look forward to seeing you all again. And with that, I would like to wish you a great evening and a great weekend. This meeting, before that, the Division D, we are part of Division D, is going to be having its conference the coming weekend in Addis Ababa. If you find yourself in this neck of the woods, please feel free to join us for that. And with that, this meeting is adjourned. Have a great evening and good night.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you. Good job, team.